Like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, it's Ashley, and we're back with some more of the web novel, Marry My Husband. And when we last left off, we got to meet Jiwon's mother, who was a piece of shit. We found out what really happened when she left. She stole all the money that Jiwon's dad worked so hard to save for Jiwon for her to go to school. And she gave it to her side piece, which ended up being Sumin's dad. And Sumin, in all of her hatred, instead of being mad at Jiwon's mother and her own father, pointed all of that at Jiwon, on also single and also child whose parent left them, who was in a single parent household. But because her parent loved her, she grew jealous and stayed by her side to torment her whole life. And she sent Jiwon's mom to visit Jiwon at work so Jiwon's mom could try to milk money out of her. But Ji-hyuk, being the wonderful fiance, and Mrs. Cha, being the real mother that Jiwon needs, came through and blocked her ass and threatened her and scared the shit out of her, scared her ass off. And after Jiwon found out everything, because they were trying to hide it from her because they didn't want her to be hurt, she figured out that it was Sumin that sent her mother, and she has decided to go and put this whole terrible, tangled relationship to rest. And we last concluded with her saying she's going to go visit Sumin in jail. So we start with chapter 151, Don't Go Jiwon. I wonder if everything's going well. Sumin continued each day with that thought. It was a shame she couldn't see Chairman Yu shout furiously that he would not allow his grandson to marry into such an indecent family. She was certain that woman could do it. That woman's acting skills were better than any award-winning actress, and her avarice for money knew no bounds. Sumin didn't know this at first. Initially, she was fooled into truly loving that woman. She wished that lady were my mom. I wish that lady were my mom. She used to wish that with all of her heart. Her resentment for stealing away her father was brief. A pleasant scent came from the lady who served Sumin hot chocolate, unlike her mother. She laid down a blanket for her so she could be warm and sang a lullaby next to Sumin until she fell asleep. It was the image of a mother Sumin had always dreamed of. She liked her so much that she made up excuses to visit her. She could even endure her father's scolding thanks to the lady who welcomed her with a smile and served delicious meals every time she visited. One time she intentionally upset her mother in order to get kicked out of the house. Sumin was excited to drink hot chocolate and listen to the lady's lullaby in a warm room. I want to sleep over tonight, Sumin said. Sure, sweetie. I'll lay out the blanket for you. I turned on the heater so it'll be warm. The lady even brought water by her bed so that Sumin could sleep comfortably and left after saying goodnight. Sumin didn't get to hear the lullaby she was excited for, but she was happy nonetheless. She soon fell asleep lying in the darkness. A little while later, she woke because she'd drunk 2 cups of hot chocolate during dinner and hadn't gone to the bathroom. Sumin cradled her aching stomach and got up to go grab the door handle. At that moment, she heard a conversation. I said no, she heard the lady's voice. Her father's pleading voice was heard right after. Oh, come on. Let's have her stay for just a little while. Do you know how harsh and cruel Suman's mother is? She must be so hard on her. Just look at how Suman gobbles up her food whenever she comes here. Since when do you care about her? All you do is bring her over, but I'm the one who has to look after her. She's like you, that's why. Then how about you? Then how about just while school's on holiday? Why don't we bring Jiwon over too? They were discussing Jiwon now. Suman felt her heart drop. She held her breath and put her ear close to the gap in the door. Why are we talking about Jiwon? Her father asked. She's my daughter. Suman is you and your wife's daughter. The lady spat out Suman's name. Usually, she said it in such a warm voice. We can raise Jiwon with her and raise only Jiwon. I'm not raising that girl on her own. It gives me the creeps that she has the exact same eyes as her mom. Why would I raise her? I already have a daughter who looks like me. Don't you think that's too harsh? I left my own daughter behind to live with you, and now you want me to look after your child? I won't allow it. Tell her to stop coming here. What am I, a free nanny? I'm sick of cooking for your wife's daughter. What do you mean free? I'm giving you money for our living expenses. Don't even try to reason with that. You earned that money and through the business we started using my funds. You barely give me enough to get by. Look, I appreciate what you did, but forget it. Don't ever bring this up again. I'm going to sell off that pretty little girl if she keeps coming here. Why the hell do you keep bringing that shrewd brat over? The sound of feet stomping away was quickly followed by the bedroom door slamming shut. Soon after, Suman heard her father's voice begging for forgiveness outside the door. And then there was the sound of water trickling. Suman looked down at her feet. Urine flowed down as she soaked her old underwear and it pooled on the floor past her bare feet. Oop. Dang. I feel bad for child Suman, not adult Suman. You have a visitor, number 2673, the prison guard called over the iron gate. Suman didn't even realize that it was her number at first. No one had visited her so far, and she'd figured no one ever would. The thick iron gates opened, the metal scraping harshly against itself. Hey, 2673, you have a visitor. Only after the prison guard called again did Suman turn her head around. Me? Yes. Get out here. Who could it be? She felt more confused than excited. Suman thought about who would visit her as she followed the prison guard down the long hallway. There's no way it's Mom, and there's an even lesser chance it's Dad. Could it be a lawyer or an insurance agent? Confused, Suman's face froze when she entered the visiting area. Jiwon Kang. That worthless, brazen, selfish, and spiteful bitch. She is one to fucking talk. Those are all words to describe yourself, whore. Suman's vicious glare met the glass wall. Suman stood for a few seconds glaring at Jiwon. Then she suddenly thought of a different idea. Maybe Jiwon being here meant something big had happened. Perhaps they broke off their engagement. Suddenly, Suman's mood brightened. She pulled out the chair and sat down as she rested her chin on both hands with a big smile on her face. What brings you here, Jiwon? Did something happen? Looks like you really hope something did. I was just curious. Suman was excited for words of resentment to come from Jiwon's mouth. She wanted to hear Jiwon say she ruined her marriage. How happy would she be if she heard that Jiwon's mother, who had abandoned her family after cheating with a married man, suddenly appeared and started causing commotion with Jiwon's in-laws. Nothing much has happened. Well, Ji-hyuk and I are getting married soon, but you already knew that, right? The smile disappeared from Suman's face. You're getting married? How come? Is there another reason people get married? Jiwon uncrossed her legs and pulled her body closer to the glass wall. I thought we'd be happy together. I was certain if I spent the rest of my life with Ji-hyuk, I'd be the happiest person in the world. Suman desperately hoped that Jiwon was lying. Happy? Jiwon doesn't deserve to be happy. How is that possible? Suman was so angry and shocked that her voice trembled. How can you get married? How? It's exactly like they say in the articles. Oh, but they were wrong about the envelope my mother-in-law gave me. She wasn't giving it to me as I'd break up with Ji-hyuk. She was giving me her money and credit card so I could use it for our wedding. Jiwon's face reflected in Suman's wide eyes. Suman couldn't believe that not only did that incredible family accept Jiwon, but a mother like that had too. What's with that expression? Jiwon gently curled the corners of her mouth. Are you disappointed that your plan didn't work out the way that you wanted? And that it was a waste of time to send my mom over to ruin my marriage? Suman glanced at the prison guard sitting next to the corner and frowned at Jiwon again. While she had been smiling at first, her face was now crumpled up like a used newspaper. When she blinked, her eyes were filled with hatred she couldn't hide. I didn't send her over to ruin your marriage, Jiwon. Don't say such scary things. Jiwon snorted at the response. Without the prison guard, Suman would have cursed Jiwon out with unthinkable insults. It was true what they said. A leopard couldn't change its spots. I always wanted to know the reason you hated me so much, Suman. What have I done so wrong to you that you have to try to make me miserable by destroying your own life? I told you, it's not like that. Jiwon ignored Suman's words. Tell me the truth. Is it my fault that my mom and your dad met and abandoned their families? There was a cracking sound from Suman's tightly gritted teeth. She'd told everyone that Jiwon's mom ran off after cheating with the married man. She hadn't ever told anyone that the married man in question was her dad. The lady had jumped in surprise when she saw Suman's urine on the floor and washed her. She asked if Suman was okay and whether she was too scared to go to the bathroom. Then her dad took her home with an angry expression on his face, telling her not to contact him ever again. If it was Jiwon instead of me, that thought would not leave her mind. That lady would have kept me if I were Jiwon. Even if the lady's kindness was just a farce, I could have stayed in that house. That's because Jiwon is that lady's real daughter. No, it would have been better if Jiwon didn't exist in this world. Jiwon, you're asking me what you did wrong, right? Suman put her face close to the hole in the glass wall and whispered, Your wrongdoing is that you were born. You are just as pretentious, selfish, and shallow as your mother. How can I sit by and watch when you're trying to be happy? You need to die. You must die in the most unhappy, miserable way in the world and never even think about being born again. Her dad had chosen Jiwon's mom over Suman and her mom. Then Jiwon's mom said she could only raise Suman if Jiwon came with her. There was no way no one could choose Suman. So that's why she took everything from Jiwon. She took Jiwon's friends, teacher, boyfriend, and husband, and since she couldn't take her cat, she had it killed. Suman. Jiwon lifted her hand and swept it down the glass wall. Even though her fingers couldn't pierce the thick glass, it felt as if she was really touching Suman's face. You're such a pitiful person. Jiwon looked like she was genuinely pitied. She genuinely pitied her. It was a pity more insincere and cheaper than a coin thrown at a beggar in the middle of winter. How dare you look at me like that? Suman struck her sharp nails on the glass wall. It was exactly on the spot where Jiwon's palm was. You're just a skinny-ass loser who has no friends because she dresses weirdly. Who are you to call me pitiful? Have you lost your mind? Suman. Jiwon's hand slowly slid down the glass wall. It's time to face reality. Who's the skinny ass, strangely dressed loser with no friends here? Suman's appearance was reflected in the transparent glass. Her already skinny face looked like a skeleton from all the bullying she had endured in prison. Instead of having a name tag, she wore an old prison uniform embroidered with a prison number. Her shrunken lips were often sticky and dry because they would not open unless someone picked on her or made her do chores. Oh, look at the time. Jiwon checked the clock and picked up her bag next to her. This is the last thing I want to say before I go, Suman. Suman felt terrified when she heard that Jiwon was leaving. Once Jiwon left this visiting area, no one would visit her ever again. She had to go back to repeating each endless day in her suffocating cell. Wait, there's still time left, Suman said, trying to hold on to her. I don't have any time left for you. There's someone waiting for me outside. Jiwon spoke calmly. I'm happy I've overcome my past and all the misfortunes you and my mom gave me. I more than deserve to be happy. I'm sure bad things will happen in the future, but with the people I love and the people who love me by my side, I can overcome them again. I'm going to continue living like that and die happily one day. Keep going. Tell me more. No, stop telling me everything today and come back and tell me the rest later. You would do that, right? You haven't an ounce of humanity in you. Suman. The clean glass wall was stained with fingerprints. Jiwon read Suman's loneliness and pain in that desperate gesture as she groped at the glass. Please, Jiwon, we're friends, aren't we? The best of friends. I'm begging you. Goodbye. Let's never meet again in this life or the next. Just as I live like that for 10 more years, you will live. Ooh, will you die after living like that? Jiwon turned around and left the visiting area. The sound of Suman shouting with all her might followed her outside before it was completely cut off. Don't go, Jiwon! There's still 5 minutes left! Come back! Don't go! In the end, she didn't turn around to look at Suman. There was no need. It's over. Everything is completely over now. The once happy but long, tiresome, horrible, and ill-fated relationship between you and me is done. Whoop! And that's the end of chapter 151. Let's see. Some of the comments. As Suman's past is sad and that no one deserves to be treated like that, that does not excuse all the wrong things she did, especially with Jiwon. Karma's a bitch and she had it coming, to be honest. Definitely. Damn, Jiwon handled that perfectly. Suman's story is fucked up, but no excuses. Trauma to you will never excuse passing on more of it to a totally innocent party. Live and suffer alone as you always have, Suman. You earned it. Yeah. One of my favorite quotes from Wonder Woman fits Suman well. Punishment for the adult, empathy for the child. Exactly. This is karma, Suman, and you deserve it. How could you say that Jiwon should have never been born and bully her for that? If Jiwon had the same mentality as you, technically you should never have been born either. Jiwon handled that perfectly, though I hope she'll be happy for the rest of her days. I admit I felt a tiny bit bad for little girl Suman, who was quite literally rejected by everyone in her life at such a young and impressionable age. However, the way she took all of that out on Jiwon was deplorable. She deserves to rot and be alone for the rest of her days. You reap what you sow, and Suman will get a very hard and karmic reality check on her life sentence. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's already getting him. The way she's getting treated like shit in jail. All the shit that happened to her that led up to her getting her ass in jail. And what's going to continue to happen to her while she's in jail. I felt bad for Suman. She deserved her ending, but I like to think what could have had been if Suman hadn't put all the blame on Jiwon. If she had been a true friend to Jiwon, if she had talked to her about the problems with her mom and her traumas, if she had relied on Jiwon instead of hurting her, she would be taller, for starters, because Jiwon would have brought her home every day to eat properly. Suman had a true friend there, but she decided to throw away that precious friendship. Yeah, they could have been real friends, in like true sisters. But okay, that is the end of chapter 151. The next chapter is spring fatigue. Hey, it's AMC, and we're back with some more Marry My Husband. 152, spring fatigue. We're here. They were at the parking lot of the hair salon they'd made an appointment at earlier. Jiwon managed to wake up thanks to Ji-hyuk's voice and rubbed her sleepy eyes. Spring fatigue is hitting hard. I keep falling asleep. Beauties need their rest, so it makes sense. Ji-hyuk always said such embarrassing things so seriously. How long will it take? He asked. Longer than you, most likely. Ji-hyuk raised an eyebrow. Ji-won realized he was very taken aback. It seemed like he didn't know he would have to go inside as well. You weren't going to go in? I'm going to my own house, so why would I? Oh, guess I'm the only one who needs to get dolled up. Ji-won's eyebrows drooped. I'm the only one who has to get her hair and makeup done because it's your family. That's true. It's absolutely true. No, I didn't mean. I'll just go by myself, all alone, while I gossip about you, Ji-won said with a heavy sigh. She opened the passenger's door with a sullen look on her face. Ji-hyuk got out of the car in a hurry and grabbed Ji-won. I told you that's not what I meant. So, what are you trying to say? I'm the only one who's getting my hair and makeup done, right? Ji-hyuk's thought process broke down for a moment. It crossed his mind that Ji-won resembled Hugyeon, but it was such a terrible thought that he consciously erased it. I won't let you do it alone. Ji-won crossed her arms and frowned at Ji-hyuk. I thought you didn't want to come. I never said that. Then shall we go in? Ji-hyuk clumsily nodded his head up and down, satisfied. Ji-won collected the broken Ji-hyuk and headed into the salon. Welcome. Do you have an appointment? An employee asked. Yes, 2 people under the name Ji-won Kang. I'll take you to our couple's room. The couple's room, Ji-hyuk's face, which had already been very nervous, became even stiffer. Of course, he looked very angry to other people. Is there something I can help you with? The employee asked, trying to muster a kind smile as she guided them. Ji-hyuk was too busy glaring fiercely at the innocent mirror, so Ji-won answered with a friendly smile, No, this is perfect. Oh, that's good to know, the employee said, laughing nervously. Then they looked at Ji-hyuk with a nervous look and flinched. Would you like something to drink? We have coffee, barley tea, hot chocolate, and green tea. Thank you, we'll have coffee. We'll have the hot chocolate. The grim words came out of Ji-hyuk's lips, which had been tightly closed like a 1,000-year-old clam until a second ago. Hot chocolate, sir? Yes, hot chocolate. Yes, great. We'll have that ready for you in just a moment. Your hairdresser will be with you shortly. Ji-hyuk did not like sweet foods or drinks. Ji-won, who knew this well, looked worriedly at him. Why was he asking for hot chocolate out of the blue? Are you sure you want hot chocolate? She asked. Yes. Why all of a sudden? You don't like sweet stuff. Yu-yeon told me yesterday that you can loosen up if you eat sweet food. Are you nervous? She told him herself that couldn't be the case. Ji-won looked at Ji-hyuk through the mirror. He certainly seemed the type to break out in a cold sweat or run out of his seat at any minute. Come to think of it, there was something that Hugyeon had inadvertently spilled in the past. She said something about having no choice but science and engineering or physical education in school. Jiwon remembered something about female students too. Ji-hyuk, Jiwon leaned slightly towards him. Do you dislike women? Ji-hyuk shook his head stiffly. Jiwon asked again, Then are you afraid of them? He didn't answer. Really? You're afraid of women? I'm not afraid of women per se. Ji-hyuk's gaze in the mirror briefly went to the employee walking around over the arched partition and then returned quickly to Jiwon. I just don't like being around a lot of women. Jiwon had just assumed he wasn't interested in women. She was surprised by his unexpected answer. That means he's scared of a group of women. Why? Did something happen? Sorry to keep you waiting. Just when Jiwon was about to ask about what happened, 2 hairdressers came inside. The hot chocolate Ji-hyuk had ordered was placed in front of them. Fortunately, Ji-hyuk's hairdresser was a young man. Jiwon observed Ji-hyuk from time to time while her hair was styled and dried. Even before the salon mirror, which was known to be one of the most unflattering ones in the world, he was perfectly handsome. How did a perfect man like that come to be afraid of women? Of course, curiosity continued to bubble up inside of her, yet she still felt sleepy. Spring fatigue was truly relentless. What do you think? Do I look good? Chairman Yu asked, sweeping his hand over the silver hair he had fixed with more care than usual. Miss Cha nodded her head quietly, and Hugyeon made a serious face. Grandfather, do you think you should switch jobs? You want me to quit being the chairman? Yes, I think you. Hugyeon made a square with her thumb and index finger and pretended to take a picture. She even made a clicking sound with her mouth. We're born to be a model. Click, click. Leave the chairman position to me and make your debut as a model. Strike a pose. Come on, Vogue. She was about to go get a red towel and lay it like a red carpet. Miss Cha pulled Hugyeon aside and added a handkerchief to Chairman Yu's jacket. You look great, sir, Miss Cha said. Do I? Chairman Yu turned around in front of the mirror to see if there was any dust on the suit that perfectly matched his imposing appearance. Hugyeon snuck back to her previous spot and clapped like a seal. Marvelous! You are the coolest grandfather I'd ever seen in my entire life. Even your grandfather is no match for you, grandfather. Hugyeon's half-honest, half-flattering compliments ended only when the doorbell rang on time. I'll go get the door. You two should sit down, she said. She could have opened it from the inside, but Hugyeon ran through the garden and opened the gate herself. Hugyeon smiled brightly when she saw her sister-in-law, who looked even more gorgeous than usual. We're here. Welcome, Miss Guardian Angel. Thanks for honoring us with your presence. As Ji-won carefully stepped inside the gate, Ji-hyuk came in from behind. Welcome, brother. No thanks for honoring us with your presence. I think you added something at the beginning. That just means your hearing is normal. Hugyeon quickly linked arms with Ji-won before she was smacked. Let's go inside. We have so many yummy dishes, Miss Cha herself. Your mother cooks too? Of course not. Our chef cooked for us and Miss Cha selected the menu herself. Oh, I see. Sounds good. Ji-won was feeling quite nervous, relaxed while crossing the garden arm in arm with Hugyeon. It was also thanks to this house and garden, which were not grand enough to be the chairman's house. This was Ji-won's first meal at Ji-hyuk's house. Not only Ji-won, but Chairman Yu, Miss Cha, and Ji-hyuk were all nervous too. Of course, Hugyeon was the only one who wasn't. She was just happy. Come inside and wear these. I bought new slippers just for you, Ji-won, with my own money, Hugyeon said. What about mine? Ji-hyuk said. You can just wear what you used to. Ji-won changed into the cute slippers Hugyeon offered and carefully passed the hallway into the living room. It was her first time seeing Chairman Yu and Miss Cha together in one spot. Hello, grandfather. Joran. Welcome. Chairman Yu, who had been glued to the mirror just moments ago, asked asking if he looked okay, now acted dignified and serious. However, he could not hide his glee at being called grandfather by Jiwon. Miss Cha turned her head a little to hide her laughter and greeted Jiwon elegantly. Good to see you. You arrived right on time. Dinner's prepared. The dishes Miss Cha picked out were humble as well. Braised short ribs, stir-fried glass noodles, a platter of 9 delicacies, and so on. Jiwon relaxed a little more and sat down at the old marble table. I hope it's to your taste. Our chef is very talented, so enjoy. It's true. My mom called over a hotel chef. Chairman Yu looked around at the prepared meal on the table and added with satisfaction, Enjoy the meal, Jiwon. Thank you. I will. Jiwon waited for Chairman Yu to raise a spoon and then went to the stir-fried glass noodles first. As she chewed, she felt gazes coming from all sides. They were all the eyes of Hugh Yeon, who wanted a review of the taste, the eyes of Miss Cha, who looked excited about something, and the eyes of Chairman Yu, who pretended not to look at Jiwon. Gulp. Jiwon swallowed the burdensome glass noodles and beamed. This is so delicious, is exactly to my taste. Hugh Yeon giggled. Professionals are the best. While Hugh Yeon spoke with joy, Chairman Yu secretly tried the glass noodles. He was satisfied with the delicious taste as well. The mealtime was so comfortable that Jiwon's nerves and Chairman Yu's overdressed outfit were unnecessary. Hugh Yeon commented on each dish, saying how the braised short ribs melted in her mouth, how delicious the snow crab was, and how she wanted to drown in the stew. Chairman Yu smiled slightly every time Jiwon said something. Try this too. Ji-hyuk picked up the neatly cut snow crab dish and placed it on Jiwon's plate. She thanked him and put it in her mouth. Ugh. Did it go bad? It's usually my favorite dish, but why is it so disgusting today? She couldn't hold back her nausea. Even tears formed in her eyes from the sudden pain. Are you okay? She was not okay. Jiwon couldn't spit out or swallow the food in her mouth and shook her head. What's wrong, Jiwon? Did you bite your tongue? Is something wrong? Are there stones inside? Jiwon couldn't even hear each family member's worry about her in their own way. She felt like she was going to throw up on the floor at this rate. Jiwon couldn't stand it any longer and ran to the kitchen to spit out the snow crab in the sink. What happened? Are you feeling unwell? Ji-hyuk asked urgently as he followed her, his face pale. Stomach cancer. The terrifying words flashed by inside her head. No, you didn't have indigestion or nausea. The snow crabs were just off. Jiwon reassured herself. She forced herself to smile. I felt sick for a moment. Maybe the snow crab went bad. Or it might be because I've been so tired these days. I keep falling asleep wherever I go. Jiwon smiled so as not to worry everyone and rubbed her stomach without realizing it. I think we all know what's going on, right? We all know. She doesn't have cancer because... Well, did it even go to anybody? It went to Jiwon. It didn't go to Jiwon. It went to Joran. So, what the heck? But let's see, comments. In terms of Ji-hyuk's fear of groups of women, my autistic boyfriend had a very similar issue when he was at university. While he was younger and fitter, he was constantly stared at by groups of women to the point he got nervous and scared of the attention. He started hiding and even changed the pathway he walked along in order to minimize being looked at. I assume Ji-hyuk experiences similar, and that's why he's scared of groups of women. That makes sense. Makes sense. Oh my God, she's pregnant. And her first thought was the cancer. Laughing my ass off. To be fair, she's severely traumatized from her previous life. I can't blame her instant fear. Me either. I can understand why her thinking that would be the first thing. Not gonna lie, the amount that Ji-hyuk gets at her, I feel like it's more of a surprise that she didn't get pregnant sooner. True. It's okay, Jiwon. First trimester is exhausting. Oh, a baby sign. Jiwon's dad would be happy about his grandchild. I don't want to have kids, but I'm happy that they are going to have kids because Jiwon wants kids, and Ji Hyuk has also expressed he wants kids. So for that, I'm happy for them. And I think they would be very good parents. Plus, Grandpa is already happy. We already know Hugh Yeon would be a great aunt. And Miss Cha, we already know how she's already embraced Ji Hyuk and Ji Won. So she would be a great grandma. But okay. So next chapter is chapter 153, You Animal. And we're back with 153, You Animal. Ji Hyuk could not hide his worry when he saw Ji-won's pale face. There was nothing wrong with the snow crab that was served. There was no way that a chef who had been specially invited for today would use unsafe ingredients. Hugh Yeon, who was more sensitive than anyone when it came to food, had given it endless compliments earlier. Ji-won had to be the one feeling unwell. Let's get out of here. We'll go to the hospital, Ji Hyuk said. No, I'm okay now. Your face is still pale, and your lips too. They'll go back to normal soon. I just feel queasy for a minute. That's all. It was her first meal with Ji Hyuk's family. Ji-won thought of the half-eaten food on the table and refused profusely. Then let's do this. Ji Hyuk gave up trying to persuade Ji-won. She kept opposing every suggestion so stubbornly. We'll go back to our seats, but the moment you feel sick again, we have to go straight to the hospital. Grandfather will understand. All right, sounds good to me. As she wiped her mouth and went back to the dining table, 3 pairs of worried eyes looked at Ji-won the moment she entered the room. Ji-won smiled awkwardly and sat on the chair. Ji Hyuk pulled out. I know that word. Okay. I'm sorry. I just felt nauseous all of a sudden. I must have been really nervous. Are you feeling better? Is it indigestion? Chairman Yu's angry voice followed after Hugh Yeon and Miss Cha's thoughtful questions. Call the chef over. He clearly made a mistake. No, it's not the chef's fault. Look. Ji-won quickly stopped Chairman Yu and grabbed the remaining snow crab from the plate. She wanted to prove that she was really okay, but unfortunately, things did not go as planned. Ji-won didn't even eat it. She only grabbed it using her chopsticks, but her stomach immediately flip-flopped. It felt like traveling to an island on a boat on a day when the waves were about 2 meters high. Put it down. Ji Hyuk got up with an even face paler than Ji-won's and helped her up. Grandfather, Ms. Cha, excuse us. I think we need to go to the hospital. The meal? Stop talking and go already. Don't drive. Just take my car. Chairman Yu loudly shouted back immediately. Ji-won had to leave without properly saying goodbye to everyone. She was almost carried out on Ji Hyuk's back. In fact, she would not have been able to say goodbye even if she had time because her stomach was queasy from just thinking about snow crabs. Ji-won must be really sick, Hugh Yeon mumbled sadly. She must have been in shock because the braised ribs in front of her were cool from not being touched. From now on, we will never eat snow crab in this family. Never, ever think of buying it again. Chairman Yu said, blaming the innocent snow crab. The discerning housekeeper took away the hated dish immediately. In the gloomy atmosphere, Miss Cha pondered about something while she looked at Ji-won's seat. Could it be? Maybe not, but I get the feeling it is. Yeah, that has to be it. Miss Cha made a decision soon and pushed her chair out to stand up. I think I need to join them at the hospital. What can you do all by yourself? I'm going too. Call Mr. Kim and ask him which hospital they're going to. Chairman Yu got up as if he was waiting for this reaction. Hugh Yeon was already grabbing her bag. Mr. Kim took them, right? Let's take Mom's car then. Hurry. They're so freaking cute. This is like exactly the kind of family Jiwon needs after losing her dad and her grandma and all the toxic people that she had around her before in her previous life. Chairman Yu's car was so clean that even a fly that came inside would feel guilty and get out. Nevertheless, Jiwon continued to suffer from nausea as they drove. The smell of snow crabs lingered in her nose and mixed with the car scent, making bile rise up in her throat. Just hold on, we're almost there, Ji Hyuk said, smoothing Jiwon while his back was completely wet with cold sweat. The driver, who boasted 20 years of accident-free driving, was going way too slow for him. I want to get off, Jiwon spoke through her lips, as pale as a corpse. Ji Hyuk took a look at the hospital building in the distance and made a decision without difficulty. Mr. Kim, please stop the car on the side of the road. There's still a way to go, Mr. Kim said. That's all right. Ji Hyuk got out of the car first and turned his back in front of a limp Jiwon. Get on my back. I don't want to. Then I'll carry you. Without a word, Ji Hyuk carried Jiwon in his arms and strolled towards the hospital. Jiwon had no strength left to struggle, so she just let him carry her to the hospital for the next 10 minutes. Now that she was out of the car, she took in Ji Hyuk's scent and the outside air. She felt a little better by the time they arrived at the hospital. I can walk now. I don't believe you. I'm telling the truth. Jiwon twisted her body slightly and escaped Ji Hyuk's arms. She was bothered by Ji Hyuk's expression. He kept looking at her as if he had put down a treasure by the dirty riverbank. She didn't want to get more attention in a place full of sick people. You can come in, Miss Jiwon Kang. Soon Jiwon's name was called out. When the doctor heard that she'd suddenly felt sick, Jiwon was asked an unexpected question. Is there any chance you're pregnant? Huh? Thinking Jiwon didn't hear again, the doctor kindly asked the question again. Are you pregnant? I don't think. Maybe? When was your last period? Jiwon looked at the calendar on the wall and calculated the date in her head. Now that she thought about it, it was already past when her period was supposed to start. She was over a week late. About a month and 10 days ago? You should get an exam done first. I'll connect you to the gynecologist. Jiwon's heart started pounding loudly at the doctor's nonchalant words. Maybe. No way. What should I do? While hundreds of question marks flew around in her head, she remembered more strange things that had happened recently. So she was so sleepy. She was still sleepy even though she fell asleep as soon as she got off work, woke up for a while at dawn and went back to sleep just before work. And even though she ate as much as she usually did, she would crave snacks at an hour later. There were times when her body swelled and she had a slight fever for no reason. What did the doctor say? Do we need to do a close examination, a CT scan, or do you need to be hospitalized? Ji Hyuk asked anxiously when Jiwon came out of the room a minute later with a dazed expression on her face. She told me to go to a different department. A different department? Where? Follow me. Jiwon took Ji Hyuk to the OB/GYN department. Ji Hyuk asked several times why they were headed there, but she did not answer him. It was because he turned into a golden retriever in the rain if she got him excited, but it wasn't the case. A month and 10 days. A doctor with a friendly look like a sister checked something and took Jiwon to the next room. She seemed only a decade older than Jiwon. Since you're late, let's take an ultrasound right away. An ultrasound? I don't know if I'm ready for that. You don't need to be ready for it. We don't know what's going on yet. This will be quick. Soon, a black and white screen appeared on the small small monitor. Jiwon stared at the two dots in the middle of the screen. They were so small, it was as though someone had dropped them there with an eyedropper. This is your womb, and the doctor pointed out two dots with the end of a long rod. There are two. You're having twins. The doctor's words felt far away, as if she were dreaming. Jiwon unconsciously put her hand on her stomach. She stroked her lower abdomen where the spot on the screen seemed to be. I'm going to be a mom? And for two children? Each one is 0.9 centimeters. They're both looking nice and healthy. Congratulations. Jiwon felt dazed after receiving the ultrasound photo. Her heart was beating so fast she was worried it would harm the babies. She paused while coming out of the clinic, carrying the thin, small photo like a treasure. She didn't know when they'd come, but Miss Cha, Hugh Yeon, and even Chairman Yu had surrounded Ji-hyuk, worry all over their faces. Jiwon! Ji-hyuk spotted her first and ran up to her. His face looked like he was about to faint from concern. 3 generations of her in-laws followed behind him and checked Jiwon's complexion. What did they say? Are you sick, Miss Guardian Angel? Like, seriously sick? Ji-hyuk and Hugh Yeon were very scared as they asked. Miss Cha was quiet, and Chairman Yu gave instructions resolutely. Ji-hyuk, call Mr. O. Tell him to get the VIP ward ready. That's okay, grandfather. Jiwon, who was just blinking, hurriedly stopped Chairman Yu. I'm not sick, and I don't need a ward either. Then what's wrong? Jiwon hesitated and made eye contact with Miss Cha, who was looking at her from behind. Chairman Yu. Unlike the other family members, Miss Cha had a pleased smile on her face. Miss Cha nodded slowly, as if she were saying, It's okay, you can tell us. Suddenly, Jiwon felt relieved, and a bashful laugh came out. Actually, with both hands, Jiwon held out the treasured ultrasound photo she held tightly in her arms. I'm pregnant. Ji-hyuk's eyes widened. It was almost surprising how wide his eyes could grow. And there's 2 of them. We're having twins. Hugh Yeon covered the scream that burst out using her hands. Oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting that. Miss Cha was very satisfied with her guess, and her cheeks twitched from shock and joy. Jiwon pointed out the 2 small dots with her fingers. This is my womb. Both of them are doing really well, and next week we can hear their heartbeats. Everyone went silent as if they had forgotten how to speak. Meanwhile, Hugh Yeon came to her senses and glared at Ji-hyuk with a flash in her eyes. You animal! Ji-hyuk didn't respond. What have you done to Miss Guardian Angel, you scoundrel? Ji-hyuk did not even defend himself, even as Hugh Yeon started smacking him on his back. Holding her hand tightly, Jiwon felt Ji-hyuk's hand shaking as if it were a vibrating cell phone. When she looked closely at him, she realized his entire body was trembling. Even his eyes quivered with moisture as he stared at Jiwon. You bastard! How could you? How dare a good-for-nothing like you touch my guardian angel? Hugh Yeon was still in the middle of her beating. Suddenly, Chairman Yu turned around and strolled out at a quick pace. Grandfather! Ji-hyuk stopped Jiwon, who tried to follow him in surprise. It's fine. You should sit and rest for a while. I'll follow him, Hugh Yeon said, and I'm not done with you yet, Ji-hyuk. No, the 3 of you stay here. I'll go after him. Despite the serious situation, Miss Cha still had a smile on her lips. It made sense. She knew exactly what Chairman Yu went to do, since she understood him very well. Sir, Miss Cha soon found Chairman Yu standing alone with his head down on a deserted staircase. Here you go. You didn't bring your handkerchief, right? Chairman Yu's head remained bowed while he stretched out an arm to grab the handkerchief. Miss Cha's handkerchief, which was ironed neatly and even sprayed with perfume, soon became covered with tears and snot. Did you hear that, Jerome? I did, sir, Miss Cha answered as she said a prayer to her handkerchief. You're a great-grandfather. The chairman now let out a loud sob. And to 2 grandchildren as well, Miss Cha added. Chairman Yu felt even more moved and blew his nose on the handkerchief. Then he added fiercely, That filthy animal! I need to teach him a lesson. How dare he lay his hands on my granddaughter-in-law? How you think babies are made? And Ji-hyuk is a motherfucking rabbit, okay? Eventually she is going to get pregnant. Like, I'm surprised it took him this long. But some of the comments, laughing my ass off. Those 2 calling him an animal is beyond hilarious. And I love how happy Grandpa Yu is about becoming a grandfather. Yeah. I mean, it was one of the selling points that they used for them to convince Ji-won to marry him, to marry Ji-hyuk. I love how similar Grandpa Yu and Hugh-yeon are. It is also so lovely seeing how supportive seeing this supportive dynamic. Ji-won really is a part of the family. This whole chapter was cute and hilarious. Congrats, Ji-won. Congrats, Ji-won. Also, not everyone calling Ji-hyuk an animal. That filthy animal. Not me thinking of that one scene from Home Alone. But anyways, I'm excited for Ji-won. Me too. Me too. Legend has it, even to this day, they still refuse to eat snow crab. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. And that's the end of... And we're back with chapter 154. The Yu siblings are so fussy. Ji-hyuk looked like his soul left his body. Ji-won figured he would be shocked at first, but that he would snap out of it once they returned home and he'd congratulate her. However, the dazed Ji-hyuk put his shoes back on as soon as they arrived home. Where are you going? She asked. I have something to take care of. I'll be back within an hour. Ji-hyuk said simply and went out the front door. He didn't even kiss her goodbye. What the heck? What's that? What's that reaction? Ji-won pounded as she flopped onto the couch. Is he not happy about the babies? Hey, Pang. Meow? You're going to be a brother now. Me? Meow? Sometimes Pang acted as if he understood human speech. There were situations where it sounded like he was talking back by coincidence. Right now was another moment like that. You're not happy about it either? Nah. Pang hesitated before walking over to rub his head against Ji-won's stomach. It was a gentle rub. That's right. In there, Ji-won giggled, picking up Pang and showering him with kisses on both cheeks. I'm actually really worried. Meow? I've never been a mom, even in my previous life. Will I be a good mom? To not only 1, but 2 kids? Meow? Pang stuck out his tongue and licked Ji-won's cheek. It felt rough, warm, and cute. It made Ji-won feel so much better. But then the spring fatigue struck again. Sleep overcame her like a bomb. She couldn't even make it to the bed. Ji-won lay down on the couch and fell asleep. In her dream, Ji-won left the house by herself. She definitely came out of her house, but outside was a vast blue sea. There was a round sun above the calm sea without a single wave. If this were real, it would have been impossible to look at because it was too bright. However, in her dream, Ji-won looked straight at the sun and clapped her hands. That's amazing. It's right above everything in the middle. When she looked back, there was a huge mountain behind her. There was a sun above the mountain as well. Oh, there's one there too. Ji-won looked back and forth between the sun above the mountain peak and the sun above the sea. The 2 suns were exactly the same size and shape. It'd be too hot to live under 2 suns. Ji-won was worrying about something strange and was led back to reality by Ji-hyuk's gentle fingers caressing her cheek carefully. You fell asleep again. Jiwon sat up, blinking her eyes, which did not open very well. Ji-hyuk stood in front of her with a big bouquet of flowers. The disappointment she'd felt earlier melted away when she realized they were why he'd gone out earlier. Flowers? She asked. I wanted to get you something, but I wasn't sure what, so I just bought the prettiest thing I could find nearby. During this serious moment, Jiwon thought of a golden retriever bringing back a ball and secretly bit the inside of her mouth to hold back her laughter. It's my first time being a husband and a dad, so I'll probably make a lot of mistakes and frustrate you, but I'll figure out what I need to improve on, study it, and eventually satisfy you. Ji-hyuk placed the bouquet in Jiwon's arms. Thank you, Jiwon. Ji-hyuk's stiff attitude and dry tone sounded as if he'd just received a report, but there was always honesty in his words. That was more than enough for Jiwon. I'm thankful too. And Jiwon picked the prettiest and largest flower from the bouquet and held it out to him. I love you. Ji-hyuk took the flower held out to him. The two wrapped their arms around each other's necks and locked lips at the same time. Their soft flesh wrapped around each other as they opened themselves to each other. After the sweet kiss turned deep, a red-faced Jiwon pushed Ji-hyuk slightly away first. That's enough, she said. Why? Ji-hyuk looked at Jiwon like a golden retriever that just had its snack taken away. You're too sensitive, Ji-hyuk. I'll be fine. You're not fine right now. His eyes scanned her face. It's too early in the pregnancy. Just wait until my morning sickness passes, Jiwon said. It must have been quite the comment out of the blue for Ji-hyuk. He was beyond a golden retriever that had its snacks taken away. Now he looked like a king who'd lost his country. Jiwon felt sorry for him and kissed him on the cheek. You can hold back, right? She asked. You are the father of 2 children now, after all. I swear I think Jiwon's dream with the 2 sons is she's going to have 2 boys. Because son, like S-O-N. Let's see. What's with the car? Jiwon asked, standing in front of the sports car that hadn't been there until yesterday. And it wasn't just a sports car, it was a convertible. I brought it from my grandfather's house, Ji-hyuk spoke plainly, as if he just bought some tofu and opened the passenger side for her. You have another car at his house? She asked. It was my grandfather's car. He used to drive it as a hobby. It's mine now, and he said you can keep it if you want. You don't like it? Who in the world would not like this convertible with its slim black body and beautiful wheels? Plus, it was part of Chairman Yu's collection. Jiwon shook her head vaguely. It's not that. This is just too much. Why a convertible all of a sudden? It seemed like you had a hard time smelling the inside of a car, so I brought this over quickly. Ji-hyuk's back was still tingled from the smack he'd received from Chairman Yu when he'd gone to get the car, but he grinned anyway. We need a car anyway. You need to go to the hospital now, and you keep insisting on going to work. They'll be swamped if I leave now. We're understaffed as it is, Jiwon said. I know, so we need to make the ride as comfortable as can be. Ji-hyuk pushed Jiwon into the passenger seat and sat on the driver's side. The convertible left the parking lot with a loud bang from the exhaust, which did not suit Jiwon's taste at all. Still, the nausea from the car's interior smell definitely disappeared. But there was an even bigger problem now. Can you close the top, please? Jiwon asked as she nearly struck her head into the bag of her lap. Morning sickness seemed to be a better option than sitting in a convertible dressed for work during rush hour and getting all the attention in the world. Let me know right away if you feel sick. Ji-hyuk pressed the button to close the roof. Jiwon didn't need to tell him when she felt sick. Look! Her stomach flip-flopped not even 5 minutes after the lid closed. It's no good. Ji-hyuk opened the roof wide again. Don't ask to close the lid again. According to the doctor, your symptoms will start to disappear when you reach 12 weeks, so just hold on until then. Jiwon was around her 5th week of pregnancy, so she had to wait another 7 weeks to feel better, and it wasn't like the symptoms disappeared right when she reached 12 weeks either. Jiwon, who imagined herself going to work in an open convertible, earnestly pleaded with Ji-hyuk, "Then can you drop me off far away? A 10-minute walk would be fine. Some exercise would be good for the babies." "I agree, but your shoes look uncomfortable." "They're just flats. I'm not wearing heels." "It's too cold." "Same with the convertible. It's dangerous outside." Ji-hyuk seemed to think Jiwon was a glass candlestick that would fall down and break with a single touch. He was super duper fussy now. Jiwon needed a plan if she didn't want him fretting over her for the next 9 months. "I need to discuss this with Hugyeon once I get to work." Jiwon made up her mind as she walked from the alley behind the company building where Ji-hyuk let her off after a long argument. Hugyeon was a little eccentric, but she seemed to be more reasonable than Ji-hyuk. But that hope was in vain. Jiwon soon had to admit that she was wrong. "Miss Guardian Angel!" She had no choice but to admit that when Hugyeon ran into her in the lobby, dashed over and took her bag away. "You can't carry around something as heavy as this. That damn brother of mine." "Oh no, I need to stop swearing." Hugyeon smacked her mouth while talking to herself. Then she used a gentle voice that didn't suit her. "Did my brother really let you carry something so heavy, Miss Guardian Angel? Looks like there's some issues with his judgment." Jiwon's face darkened. The two were definitely siblings, judging by how fussy both of them were. "Hugyeon?" "Yes, Miss Guardian Angel. Your wish is my command. I am your fairy godmother." "No, wait. That's too arrogant. I'm your humble servant. Just ring a bell." "My bag's not heavy at all," Jiwon said. The bag was about the size of her 2 palms combined. Inside was a notepad, pen, compact, and a lip balm. "Miss Guardian Angel, I'm going to be real with you now," Hugyeon declared while hugging the bag tightly, dodging Jiwon's hands. "From now on, you can't carry anything heavier than a chopstick or a spoon. I will carry everything for you. If you want, you can carry your spoon and chopsticks for you. I can carry your spoon and your chopsticks for you too." "No, please don't." "Then allow me to carry your spoon and chopsticks, but not your bag." Hugyeon made it sound like she was making a great sacrifice. Jiwon obediently followed Hugyeon inside. She was wary of all the directions in case someone flew and bumped into Jiwon unexpectedly. She decided that she would be better to adapt to the situation quickly than to resist it. If Ji-hyuk's fuss was surprising, Hugyeon's fuss was phenomenal. "Excuse me, coming through, don't push." She did more than just split the crowd like Moses in the elevator on their way to work. "Can you share the files from the meeting, Miss Kang?" "I got it. I'll share it with you now." She took care of menial, tedious tasks for Jiwon, too. "Oh no, today's lunch is braised fish. What do we do?" She also found and despaired over the lunch menu at the cafeteria. "It's okay. I'll just leave that one out," Jiwon said. "Even if you do, you can still smell it." "Then should we eat outside? I want cream pasta with no seafood, but lots of bacon and broccoli." "Nope, the outside world is too dangerous. Very dangerous," Hugyeon said, giving the same reason as Ji-hyuk. Suddenly, she slapped her knees. "What do we do when we're too lazy to cook?" "Get food delivered?" "That's right, delivery food." Hugyeon's eyes sparkled. They looked dangerous. "You want to order lunch? At a food company?" As far as Jiwon knew, there was no employee bold enough to have lunch delivered to UNK. It was an act that violated the sacred pride of Korea's top food company. It was a place where employees purposefully went to work to eat in the cafeteria. Who cares? My guardian angel, their wish is my command. Who delivers pasta? There's nothing you can't get delivered these days. Okay, even if we do, where will we eat it? It'll be so obvious if we get it delivered. I'll find some place, and the pasta too. Jiwon felt uneasy. Very, very uneasy. But to be honest, she also wanted to avoid the braised fish, and she was craving pasta. Where are we going to eat it?" Jiwon asked again. Hugyeon let out a suspicious laugh. "At a nice, comfortable, and open space." I'm scared. That's the end of chapter 154. Let's see some of the top comments. Why is no one talking about the fact Jiwon finally said I love you to Ji-hyuk? Right, and she gave him a flower. That part was very cute. Him coming with him rushing out to go get her something because she got pregnant was adorable, all in itself. And then her giving him the flower saying, I love you. And that whole part right there was sweet. And her dream. I swear her dream meant she's having two sons, two twins, and they're going to be boys. I think they are being very sweet and a little bit over the top protecting her. I feel her frustration. I also understand she gave them quite a scare at dinner. Multiple babies are more stressful on a woman's body. Oh. Than singles are. I had complications with all of my pregnancies and had singles all 3 times. So definitely she does need to be extra careful with twins, especially in the first trimester. And that's true. My cousin had twins and she had a really hard time too. I think she was bedridden the last 3 months. And she had a boy. She had had 1 kid previous to that. Makes sense. Oh, well, that's the end of chapter 154. Let's see. Up next is 155, the final boss. And we're back with more Marry My Husband, chapter 155, the final boss. Are you really sure? You checked? Joran asked, trying to confirm several times with an alert look on her face after hearing about Jiwon's pregnancy. Jiwon, who thought Joran would be very happy for her, became a little embarrassed by her unexpected reaction. I saw the ultrasound. I'm having twins. Oh, wow, twins. Joran's face looked even more troubled. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. Joran didn't seem happy at all. She even looked a bit sad. You don't seem too happy about it. I guess so, huh? Joran made an awkward expression and drank some warm herbal tea. The cup in front of Joran also contained herbal tea instead of coffee. I'm truly happy for you. Ji-hyuk is such a great guy, and you two make an amazing couple. But I'll admit, happiness isn't the only thing I'm feeling. I was hoping you would enjoy your life for a little longer. Enjoy my life? Joran stared at the cup and slowly continued. I'm not saying your life ends just because you have a child and a husband, but your life changes. Just like how we live as babies, then children, and then as students, we can't return to our previous lives. The moment you get pregnant, the life where you just take care of yourself ends. You enter a new life where you have to raise someone. You can't do anything on your own. I'm just a bit sad about that. Jiwon understood what Joran was talking about. The disappointment she felt suddenly warmed up like herbal tea. That's how I felt as well. I'm a little sad about the life that I'm leaving behind, and I feel a little scared too. Of course you are. It's uncharted territory. I was scared of raising a child before I had one, and I was scared of becoming a divorcee before I got a divorce. Once I had a baby, it eventually all worked out, but I did regret getting a divorce. You regretted it? Jiwon asked with wide eyes. She was so shocked by Joran's words that she forgot what she'd said before. I regretted it a lot. Joran sighed as she spoke seriously. I regretted not doing it sooner. Why was I foolish enough to wait for something like this great? Jiwon burst out laughing as Joran looked seriously, regretting about it. That was what you were talking about? Of course. Joran laughed with her. For me, divorce was happier than being married, but marriage will be happier for you. And the same with the twins. You know children are only happy if the mother is happy, right? I do. Thank you. Let's cheers to your happiness then. Joran and Jiwon cheered with their herbal tea instead of champagne. It was lukewarm, perfect for chugging it down. How's the morning sickness? Are you craving foods or turned off by anything? She asked. Just the scent of seafood is enough to send me off the edge. I'm really craving cream pasta today. It's lunchtime soon. Should we go out and get some cream pasta? I was going to ask you about that. Hugh Yeon said we could order cream pasta and eat it in secret at the office. Is that okay with you? That's fine, but she's getting food delivered to the office. Where can we eat it? Hugh Yeon said she knows a place. Has she been eating snacks and hiding someplace we don't know about? Joran tilted her head in confusion, but agreed to come for the cream pasta party for Jiwon. And she sincerely regretted her decision exactly 30 minutes later. Right, where is she going off to go eat these snacks and stuff? Because you know she probably was. The air in the chairman's office was 3 times heavier and tense than usual. Nobody wants to go to have lunch. No matter if he's your in-law and he treats you like royalty. Nobody wants to do that during lunch. I'm sorry. Sinu and the other bodyguard standing on both sides of the door also played a role in the horrific mood. This place really was open, quiet, and comfortable. Actually, no, the word comfortable didn't suit this place. A delicious cream pasta was placed in front of Jiwon. Plates of pasta were in front of Joran, who sat on Jiwon's left, Hugh Yeon, who was on the right, and Chairman Yu, who was opposite them. Oh, he's there too? Got it. Got it. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Yum. You know who the only person who is excited and is not uncomfortable. You know it's Hugh Yeon. Jiwon cast a glance at Hugh Yeon, who was just happy in front of the food. She was to blame for this. Jiwon hadn't even eaten yet, and she was already felt like she had indigestion. Chairman Yu spoke seriously. Eat while it's still warm. You too, Miss Yang. Thank you, sir. Judging from her voice, which was as stiff as a 100-year-old clay, Joran seemed to feel the same way as Jiwon. Thank you for the meal. Jiwon felt sorry for involving Jiwon, for involving Joran, but she rolled up the pasta with her fork to take a bite. It really was delicious. It was the best pasta she'd ever had in her entire life. This plate of pasta filled up her stomach, which had felt empty all morning despite whatever she ate. Without realizing it, Jiwon had started shoving pasta in her mouth like she had starved herself for 3 days. Suddenly, she felt embarrassed and stopped her fork. What's wrong? Is it bad? Chairman Yu looked intently at Jiwon. Jiwon went back and forth between deliciousness and indigestion. No, it's just that I was eating too fast. Chairman Yu glanced at his granddaughter without a word. Hugh Yeon was like a human vacuum cleaner for future generations. She sucked in twice as much pasta as others. Oh, Jiwon felt even more embarrassed. Hugh Yeon must really like this too. It was so delicious I was distracted for a moment. It is delicious. The chairman's fierce eyebrows twitched. Jiwon held on to her fading alertness. Yes, I was worried when I first heard today's lunch was braised fish, so thank you so much for this meal. Next time. Jiwon was just about to say it wouldn't happen next time and that he didn't need to look out for her meals. At least that charismatic and dignified chairman wouldn't make a fuss. Braised fish, you say? Chairman Yu cut off Jiwon's words with a low murmur. His brows gathered in the middle of his forehead, the thick wrinkles between them making him look angry, no matter how you looked at him. Joran gave up on eating the pasta and fiddled with her empty fork. Mr. O? Yes, sir. Tell the cafeteria to leave out any seafood from the menu until further notice. I'm afraid that will be difficult, sir. Chairman Yu glared at Hyungwoo, with the eyes of a wild tiger. Hyungwoo, who continued to speak calmly even after receiving that gaze, seemed like a master from a legend to Jiwon. The ingredients come from different companies, including seafood, meat, and vegetables. If we take the seafood off the menu, the companies will have to throw away the quantity they set aside for us. And seeing as how most are animal products, they are difficult to dispose of. I see. You're all reason and no compassion anymore. Thank you, sir. Suddenly, Jiwon remembered that the charismatic and dignified chairman was the grandfather of the Yu siblings. Then there's no other option, the chairman said. Her spine went stiff with the tension and a cold sweat broke out. She had a good hunch of what was to come at times like this. Hugyeon, pick out a menu as soon as you get to work each day and send it to Ji-hyuk. Report it to my office as well. Yes, Grandpa. Miss Yang, please come up with Ji-won when it's time for lunch. Joran turned even more pale, but her hands continued to move on autopilot without really tasting the pasta. Me, sir? And you should eat with us while you're at it. Joran didn't know where to look. Meanwhile, Chairman Yu nodded happily, satisfied with the decision he made. Please do me this favor, Miss Yang. My granddaughter-in-law is even more frail than Hugyeon. No, I'm okay, Grandfather. I can just get a sandwich if I feel sick. Jiwon's efforts to stop him somehow backfired. Chairman Yu put his hand to his forehead when his granddaughter-in-law, who was pregnant with twins, claimed she would buy sandwiches for lunch in the office. Mr. O. Yes, sir. Prepare a dining table in the office. Not an office table like this one, but a proper one. I'll have it ready by tomorrow. Jiwon fell into an even greater despair. She had unintentionally opened a restaurant in the chairman's office. The charismatic chairman was the final boss of fussiness in this peculiar family. I get the title. He is the final boss. And they're his grandchildren, so you know where they get it from. Come in, Miss Jiwon Kang. Ji-hyuk took a big breath and practically spat it out when Jiwon's name was called. Jiwon, on the other hand, was completely calm. Are you nervous? Ji-hyuk couldn't even answer as he nodded. Not only was he nervous, he couldn't go to sleep last night. After hours of tossing and turning, he put his ear slightly on Jiwon's belly, which was seemingly unchanged thus far. Let's see here. How are the twins doing? The doctor placed the ultrasound machine on Jiwon's still flat belly. They could see the dots on the screen that were a little bigger than the last time. That's the first time the dad's seeing them, right? These tiny things inside here are the babies. Should we listen to their heartbeats? 2 melodic beats emerged from the machine. They heard 2 heartbeats beating clearly. Jiwon held Ji-hyuk's hand tightly as they listened to the sound. There was a heart inside the few millimeters of life, 2 of them, in fact, and they were beating strongly. The abstract and vague feeling of being a mother suddenly became clear to Jiwon. Looks good. They're both very healthy. They look stable, and we can see the sac. Ji-hyuk didn't seem to hear the doctor explaining this and that. As evidence, he was staring at the twins on the screen with his mouth wide open. You don't have to stare so intently. We can put the file on a CD for you, the doctor said. Please do. All the doctors and nurses burst into laughter after Ji-hyuk spoke his true feelings with a cold expression. Jiwon laughed as well. When Ji-hyuk lowered his guard in front of many people like this, it was both unfamiliar and cute. The 2 carefully packed their new ultrasound photos and the CD containing the heartbeats before leaving the hospital. Jiwon teased Ji-hyuk, who couldn't let go of one of the photos even while sitting at the cafe. You look like you're going to burn a hole through the photo. They're not coming out any sooner, no matter how much you look. They don't need to come out soon. Won't it be boring to wait? I won't be bored at all. Just looking at your face passes the time quickly. He's getting better at saying stuff like that. Jiwon giggled but quickly stopped laughing. Now that they'd heard the heartbeats, there was one problem they needed to take care of. In a way, it was a part of life, and on the other hand, it was the biggest and most important event in life. By the way, Ji-hyuk, She drew Ji Hyuk's attention with a tone that clearly indicated she had something to discuss with him. What do we do about the wedding? And that's the end of chapter 155. Ji Hyuk is so adorable. Okay. He totally has golden retriever vibes. Okay. Some of the comments. Grandma Yu happy that Hugyeon, Jiwon, and Joran are having meals in his CEO Chaebol office. LOL. The final boss indeed. He really is a final boss. I love the chairman. He's taking care of his family. I love how the chairman has included Joran to the family in a way. He really has. Wait. Sasha had twins too. Thanks, at Trevor Duke. I just started reading, so I didn't know. I don't know what that means. Ji Hyuk is too cute. Oh, yeah, that's what I just said. It's super, super adorable that everyone is so fussy for Jiwon. The time has come for Jiwon to lean into the care the Yu family wants to give her. After all, morning sickness is not easy. I bet it's not. Come on, guys. Really? Not the spoiler for other stories, sigh. Oh, I don't know what they're talking about, so it's not a spoiler to me. And then the next chapter is chapter 156, The World of Morning Sickness. But that's it for this video. All these chapters were really cute and it's just adorable. It was nice seeing Jiwon get doted on by her family. And it seems like it's kind of like wrapping up the story, and it's in a good way. The last video, we seen Sumin try to get her one last little dig in at Jiwon, and it didn't work. And Jiwon finally got to close that chapter, and now we're getting to see Jiwon finally get loved on by people, all the people that she has figured out really did care about her in her previous life, and she's getting to enjoy having real friendships and real relationships and having real bonds with people, and it's nice. But if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share. And I'll be back with some more videos for the web novel for Marry My Husband in about 2 weeks. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, or whatever time it is you're listening, and I will see you later. Bye.